Test. Hello. Oh, there we go. Wow. Fully. You got it. No, no, not at all. I don't think I need to be. There we go.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor, and a big hello to everyone who's joining us online. My name is Judy. I'm your host today, and Adam is my co-host.
Thank you so much for having me today.
The very talented Adam, the multi-talented Adam.
Thank you. Many hats, but no hat today.
Here at Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor, we draw upon the universal wisdom found at the heart of all the world's religions and offer a spiritually progressive, socially responsive, and radically inclusive approach to life that is as practical as it is mystical. We come together to encourage and support one another in our individual spiritual journeys. And wherever you are in that process, we are glad that you joined us today. And we're going to begin with an opening prayer. So as we enter into the silence today, as we get centered and enter into the silence, let's recognize spirit within. James Dillett Freeman, the director of Silent Unity from 1971 to 1983, said, "The silence is a holy place of stillness and peace. The purpose of the silence is the awareness of spirit within. It is a prayer method that relaxes the body, opens the mind, and tunes out the five senses." Psalms 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." In the silence, the still small voice expresses as inner knowing, comfort, and the assurance that all is well. When we practice sitting in the silence, we do feel this inner comfort, and we do know that all is well. And so it is. Amen.
Unity teaches us that each person is a unique individual expression of God, and that we create our experience of life according to the thoughts and feelings we hold in our mind and heart. Unity was founded on prayer. We believe and teach that affirmative prayer and meditation changes us by raising our consciousness and helping us realize our connection with the divine and the truth of who we are. A reminder to people here and online of the 24/7 prayer support with Silent Unity. You're more than welcome at any time. As I always like to quote Carole King, winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call 1-800-NOW-PRAY. Again, that's 1-800-NOW-PRAY.
Okay, so our prayer chaplain today is Lucy Croker. I don't see Lucy here yet. Could be the weather. So she'll be in the prayer room. If not, I'll be in the prayer room upstairs following service today. And just to remind everybody about the prayer box, which is right over here with little sheets and pens, and just fill in the name of anybody for whom you wish prayer, and the prayer team will pray over it for 30 days and then send your request on to Silent Unity for another 30 days. Okay, so now it's time for our March affirmation. And the affirmation is, "My inner strength empowers me to overcome obstacles and create positive change in my life." Let's repeat that together. My inner strength empowers me to overcome obstacles and create positive change in my life. So now it's time for some music. Our music team is here, Adam Bergman, of course, and Mike Karloff. We're happy to have you, and as you said, Adam, you're doing double duty today. We appreciate that.
Many, many hats, but no hat today. Thank you again, Mike, for being here.
Okay,
We
for
appreciate
song
you
number 1.
so much. So
Let's all stand.
If you may stand, please. We just wrapped up winter. We're now in spring. Everything is blooming. So let's call forth some good receivance and have a little bit of a sing-song chant. This is receiving chant. I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it have to highest good, then it will be mine. I do believe I will receive. I just have to know and then declare it to be so with an open mind. Just a little bit of time. If it serves my highest good, then it will be mine. Anything I want, it will be mine. Anything I want, it will be mine. Perfect health, it will be mine. Perfect health, it will be mine. Joy and peace, it will be mine. Joy and peace, it will be mine. Love, 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 it will be mine. Love, 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 it will be mine. If it serves my highest good, it will be mine. If it serves my highest good, it will be mine. If it serves my highest good, it will be mine. If it serves my highest good, it will be mine. Thank you. Pardon everyone. Here at Unity, we pride ourselves on singing and delivering music live. Sometimes a bug gets in our throat. My apologies. Our next song is a new song for me, but one I believe you've all heard before. And that the most important thing, like I sang about last week with my Adele song, is love. And there's only love. So let's sing another beautiful song about love. And that there's only love. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. Letting fear and worry fall away away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Thank you.
That's so nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. We just smoothed ourselves into that. That was beautiful. So we have a speaker today, and I want to bring up our president, Devani, to introduce our speaker.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. I'm very excited about having Justin here today. And that song, You Are Only Love, didn't you all just feel that in your bodies? That is amazing. I'm so happy you're bringing your gift to us, Adam.
Thank you.
And we're honored to welcome back Justin Teeuwen as our guest speaker here at Unity Windsor. So Justin is the founder of Meta Excellence. Yes, and that it is, where he and his team inspire individuals to thrive and succeed through a passion for learning and personal growth. So having had the pleasure of meeting Justin myself, I can personally attest to the incredible energy that he brings in with every interaction that he has. His intelligence and articulation and speaker, it really inspires me. And it draws me in. And I have a tendency to get quiet around him because I want to hear him speak, because he's got so many amazing insights. And I always learn every time I'm just around him. And I can just feel the energy in this room. It's rising by the second. So Justin's exceptional communication skills make complex ideas accessible and engaging, so allowing us to explore the art of connection and self-expression. We are truly grateful to have him join us once again to share his wisdom and his insights. So please help me in joining in welcoming him with an applause. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. Oh, there we go. Hey, that's good. All right, just got to get a couple things set up. Are we getting the visuals up for the projection there? We're getting there. One piece of tech at a time. Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Woo, I love it. Excitement. Yeah. So we're just getting some visuals up. Today we're going to be talking about the joy of flow. And, those are almost synonymous, flow and joy. And this is a topic that I have just been so excited to share with all of you. It has been a brainchild of mine for about 3 years. 3 years ago, I imagined doing this talk. So it's been a long time coming for me to finally be here. Just like you see this bird soaring through the sky, when you're in flow, you're able to accomplish so much. You're able to do so much effortlessly, just as a bird soars on the wind currents. So that's what we're going to talk about today is how do we know what flow looks like? Let me see if my little clicker is clicking. If we can get to the next slide there, let's see if my clicker will. It's not going to do its thing. So if you can, just click through a couple buttons for me, we'll see these pop up. So we're going to define flow, we're going to recognize the flow experience, and we're going to learn the characteristics of flow. And I see my visuals are not yet quite cooperating. That's okay. There we go. Thank you. So we're going to be focusing on these 3 goals in this talk today. How we define flow, how we recognize what the flow experience looks like, and learn the characteristics of flow. So let's just go ahead to the next slide. Flow is the psychological state of optimal experience. Now, when I do my talks, I like to be interactive. So what that means is I'm going to be getting you to chat with the people around you, maybe share a couple of responses with me. So just let's be prepared for that today as we jump into this. It's all optional, of course. I'm not going to make you do it. So I want you to just take a minute and think to yourself, when have your experiences been optimal? What does optimal mean? Think about that for a moment. And take a moment and just share it with the neighbor next to you. What experiences have you had that have been optimal? And what does optimal mean to you? Take a moment and share that with the people around you. I'll collect from you first. I'm going to start from that point in just a moment. Yeah, thank you. Oh, I think it does. Got it. Okay. Okay, perfect. Once you're clicked on this, I do have the ability. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's, can you share again, what did you say optimal experiences were like? It's when you choose? So when we make a choice, it's not necessarily the right choice or the right direction, but we've an optimal experience is when we've made a choice. Yeah. What else showed up? What else makes something an optimal experience? Yeah. Time disappears, absolutely, right? When you're you ever have one of those conversations and you're just really having a great time and you're like, oh, 5 hours just went by. I thought it was 5 minutes, right? Sometimes, almost every time I'm here, I feel that way. Yeah. A lot of inner peace. Yeah. We end up feeling peace. Yeah. Connections are easier to make. Things just seem to flow, I guess, hence its name. Yeah. You get in the zone, absolutely. You hear this from professionals of all kinds. You see them doing these complex tasks, whether it's a musician or whether it's an athlete or whether it's a leader, and you see them engaged in those moments, and it looks so effortless. It looks so effortless. Absolutely. So let's take a look at some of these options. And I'm going to see if I can click through them. Not quite. Okay, so I've got my visuals as a backup. Just go ahead and hit it about 7 or 8 times. So there are all kinds of things that characterizes flow. You know, you have a sense of control over your actions, like you feel like you have a choice. You also have the ability to have clear goals. You might feel like you are losing your sense of self for a moment, like you actually are not present in the moment, when in a good way. It's just like you're just engrossed in what it is you're doing. You'll feel deep concentration, deep but effortless involvement. You'll have a real chance of success. You know, one of the things about flow is you're right on the edge of success when you're in flow. It's like it's right there and you can almost reach it. And that's an important characteristic we'll circle back to. And you also see it here, the sense of time is altered. So collectively, we were able to describe what those optimal experiences are. Here's what's interesting about flow. It exists and occurs regardless of what it is you do. It's completely independent of what it is you're working on. You could be doing chores. You could be having a conversation. You could be practicing yoga, going for a walk, appreciating beauty in nature. You could be doing any number of activities. And what the research has shown is that when we are engaged in this way, flow just goes. And it's all characterized in the exact same way. So take a moment now and share with the people around you, what was a time when you felt this? Maybe in the last week, month, hopefully not longer, but what's a time that you remember experiencing this? What was the activity? What'd you feel? Which of these characteristics popped up? Share that with the people around you. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, folks, I'm not going to collect those answers, but I do want you to keep those experiences in your mind. You know, ironically, when I was putting this presentation together, I was entering flow state multiple times. I love doing the work that I do. I love building these kind of presentations. I really enjoy it. And it's actually quite funny. My good friend Jordan, who's just over there at the back, he was visiting at my home while I was working, and I was in the middle of flow, and I was so deep into flow. I was so focused on what I did that when he was at my door and said, "Hey, bud, I'm going to head out," I went, "Ah!" I was so scared because I had no idea. I couldn't even hear him walk towards my office. I was that focused. So when we're talking about being in flow, those are some of the things that come out. We become really hyper-focused, really attentive to what it is we're working on in a really great way. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing I want to share is a quote. Do not go with the flow, be the flow. Take a moment and think of what this quote inspires in you. We hear this, going with the flow, but do not go with the flow, be the flow. What is that? What does that inspire in you? What does that make you think about? Why would we want to be the flow instead of going with it? You are the flow, absolutely. To be the change, be the experience, be the leader, not just going along with it. Yes. Absolutely. There's a lot of relationship between flow and being present And then by doing so, we are accessing the divine. And so I love that, being the divine in that moment. Absolutely. So what does flow look like? Flow has a number of characteristics. It requires you to balance between feeling challenged and having the skills to do it. If something's too challenging, you'll end up anxious. If something's too easy, you get bored. To be in flow, you have to be right in between those two spots, between challenging and having the skills required. It's a merging of action and awareness. When you're aware of what you're doing as you're doing it, that merging that takes place is a singular characteristic to flow. And so any sort of mindfulness practice that you can think of that draws you into the present moment is one of the key elements, which we'll be practicing in the workshop later. It's one of the key elements to engaging in flow, is if you can get yourself present in where you are right now, you can transform the way in which you experience the present moment. You need very clear goals. And this is an interesting point because your goals have to be about the activity itself, doing something just for the joy of it. You know, I enjoy dance. Dance is one of my passions. And when I dance, I don't have a particular, external goal in mind, like pleasing an audience or getting a job. I dance for the joy of it. And when I do, it changes, it transforms. You also need immediate feedback. So when you're engaging in flow, you need some sort of response system. Like if I'm dancing and I dance in front of a mirror, the mirror gives me immediate feedback. I can see how I'm doing. You know, when I do presentations, I like seeing the face of the people I present to. If I present online, I was a high school teacher during the pandemic, I would ask my students to share their video because I get immediate feedback of how I'm doing by watching your faces. I get immediate feedback. So you need to have very clear goals and immediate feedback. And when you have these conditions, all these conditions on the left-hand side, what you end up with on the right-hand side, the outcomes of flow, is you end up with a deep sense of concentration. You essentially begin to shut out the outside world. Much like I told you in that story where I was so focused in flow that I didn't even hear somebody walk up into the room next to me. I've had people right next to me, and I'm so focused in flow, I just lose sight of the outside world. So when we talk about concentration, we're talking at a much higher level. I heard earlier somebody shared in the zone, right? When you're in the zone. You'll hear this from basketball players when they're doing their free throw shots. When they engage in their free throw shot, they'll report that their visual collapses right into just seeing the basket. They don't see anything else. The whole outside world disappears. That's what we mean when we say concentration. Worry-free is an important one too. When you're in flow, you don't experience worry about what others think. You're not self-conscious. You're also not self-centered. You're not focused on you, you're focused on the thing, whatever it is you're doing. You're focused on that flow, that process. So your sense of self-consciousness disappears, and then think about what that can be. How you can emerge on the other side when you are not worried about what others think, when you're not worried about what you think, when you're just being free of that. That's what we mean when we say worry-free. And of course, you get that distortion of time. And you know, it works in a couple different ways. Time can feel really short. Like you can have a 5-hour adventure feel like 5 minutes. But you can also have it feel really long when you're in flow. I remember this one time, and it's a bit of a strange time because I almost got into a car accident once. I was driving and my car spun out. And I remember it wasn't even 40 seconds. It was probably about 15 seconds. My car did 3 donuts and then ended up on the side of the road. I was safe. My car was fine. Everything was okay. But that 15 seconds felt like 5 minutes. So that is also a distortion of time. And I was in flow. I remember as my car was spinning out, I became really focused on my car. I just thought, okay, I'm going to lean into this. I'm not going to resist the turn. I'm already spinning. I guess I'll just spin more. Turned out that was the right thing to do. And I ended up being okay. But I also remember thinking, oh, this is what's going to happen to me right now. I think this, if I got hit, this might hurt. All these kind of thoughts emerged in a span of a couple seconds. But that's what we mean by that distortion of time. When you're in flow, short amounts of time can feel really long. Long amounts of time can feel really short. We lose sense of that inner chronometer that we have. Another example of this for me is when I have a background in physics. And if you give me a really good math puzzle, and I have a couple that still elude me to this day, I will sit, and it is often just at the edge of challenging and at my skill level, where I will be sitting there tinkering with an equation and playing with the numbers and rewriting and writing and trying different strategies out. And as I'm doing that, I'm balancing between something that's just on the edge of challenging, but also I have the skill required. As I'm engaging in it, my entire awareness becomes focused on what it is I'm working on. A couple weeks ago, I met with a couple friends of mine, and we were brainstorming our own equation. We were trying to create a model for something. We ended up spending, I think it was almost an hour over brunch, talking about calculus and math equations. And I remember some people next to us, we were just so focused, we forgot we were at a restaurant. The people next to us, they said, "What class are you working on?" And I said, it's not for a class. We're doing it for fun. And they're like, "Math for fun? Okay, that's great. I never thought that was possible." So your awareness with your action comes into play. And the goal that we had in putting that equation together was really just for the fun of it. We had this idea, we had this visual, and we were like, let's tinker with this. And as we were going, we had different feedback systems. We used technology in this case. We would feed our equation into a graphic calculator, and it would spit out our results. And we're like, oh, that's not what I expected. And we'd go and tinker some more. And so when we are engaging in the characteristics of flow, it's the left-hand side we want to curate. We want to really build out challenging tasks that are just on the edge of challenging, but also building our skills. We want to merge our action and awareness. We want our goals and clear feedback to come together, and then we get those outcomes that result from it. We can hop over to the next slide. The ultimate result of flow, and you hear me talk about goals, and I really want to drive this point home. It's doing something for its own sake. You're not doing something because you're going to get some reward. You're not doing something because you're going to get some accomplishment. You're not doing it because you're going to get some sort of approval or validation from yourself or from others. You're doing it because you love it. And so when we are doing that, we experience high levels of enthusiasm. We experience high levels of energy. We experience presence. We really start to focus in on that present moment. And yeah, we end up being quite productive. It's amazing what you end up producing. The irony is if you focus on trying to be productive, you lose flow. If you focus on trying to have joy, you lose flow. If you focus on trying to have energy, you lose flow. You need to focus on the joy of the activity itself, doing something for its own sake. Okay, let's go to the next slide there. So fundamentally, what we're doing when we engage in flow is we're actually finding the balance between entropy, that's that chaos person you see on the left, busy, handling all the day-to-day things that we do, and creativity, where we're hyper-focused on something that we're producing. And so it's about overcoming the chaos that's in our lives in order to create the order that we're looking for. And so the author, whose name I'm not going to mispronounce, Mihaly, I think is his name, is He talks a lot about psychic entropy. If I just pause for a moment, do you see how quickly your mind begins to wander? That's psychic entropy. That's what he's talking about. Our minds are constantly buzzing and worrying and have all kinds of things that it's focusing on. And so flow is our ability to make order out of that chaotic mind state that we enter into. Next slide, please. And so entropy is that tendency towards chaos. It's our ability to, we get home and the room just naturally becomes a little bit messier. It naturally just gets a little bit messier. It gets a little, we don't have to try for those messes to happen. Creativity, on the other hand, is that desire for order. It's that desire for us, our world to make sense, to have some sort of sensibility to it. Can we get the next slide, please? There we go. Now, think about where you like to spend your free time. You've worked hard doing the things that you do. Do you have a tendency when you're done to want to relax? And that's perfectly normal, by the way. I know I certainly enjoy that. If you don't take enough relaxation time, then we shut down. We do need a certain amount of time in our life to relax, to enjoy comfort. But when we are engaging in our creative selves, we experience joy and discovery. So the example I use here is when I'm feeling like relaxing, there are times where I've been having a really busy week. And I say, I just need to unwind. So I sit down and I put on Netflix and my mind turns off. Well, as much as my mind turns off, it doesn't really turn off. And then I engage in relaxation. And that can be for 10 minutes or it can be for 10 hours. I kind of feel the same, whether I relax for 10 minutes or 10 hours. Do you kind of notice that about relaxation? After a while, you don't really get more out of it. However, when we are engaged in creativity, we get that flow state going, the joy and the discovery that comes out of it is so much different. So I'll share with you an example, a little quick story. This was 2 weekends ago. It was Saturday. I had the whole day off. I woke up super early for no reason. I just did. And I was like, I think I want to do something with my day. I don't think I want to just sit here and relax. I felt relaxed enough that I felt curious and I wanted to explore. So I called up a couple friends and I said, do you want to go for brunch? So me and 3 friends, we all went for brunch. Brunch ended up lasting 3 hours. And I thought it was 3 minutes. Well, there was my first experience of flow. I brought together 3 great people. We had an amazing, intense conversation. There were lots of conversations, all 4 of us, pairs of us. It was fantastic. While we were there and we were chatting, we said, it's been a while since we played a game. Do you guys want to play a board game later? And they were like, sure. So a couple hours later, I invited them over. We played some board games. And we engaged in a couple more hours. I think I said it was going to be 1 hour. It ended up being about 4 we played. And again, we were engaged in that act of creative expression and enjoyment. And then a little bit later in the day came and I said, I think I want to go dancing now. And I went out and I danced. And again, I started, I think at 11 o'clock and I danced until the wee hours of the morning, until the music stopped. And again, I found myself deeply focused on where I was and what I was doing. And that's very different than when I've woken up on other Saturdays and said, I think I'm just going to put on a show today. And then 8 hours goes by and all I've done is sit around and enjoy comfort. So when we are engaging in this, I want you to take a moment and just think, how do you spend your free time? And engage in this question blamelessly. There's nothing wrong with taking relaxation. There's nothing wrong with being in discovery. Where do you tend to default between these two? Do you tend to focus on, more entropy and relaxation, or do you tend to focus on creativity and joy and discovery? Chat about it with the people around you. What do you think? Okay, let's bring it back. How many found that you enjoy both? I love both too. You know, it's funny, when I take the time to purposefully relax, it's very different than when I'm relaxing, but I don't feel like I have permission. I don't give myself permission. And there's a big difference because relaxation can be its own kind of flow. It can. But not if we're supposed to be doing something else or feel like we're supposed to be doing something else or think we're supposed to be doing something, right? Then relaxation does not feel like relaxation. So they're both good. And I'm excited to chat more with you later this afternoon, those who can attend. Let's go to the next slide, please. So remember, when we're thinking about flow, there are a lot of benefits. Just hit the next thing one more time. Perfect. When you consider the benefits of flow, when you think about the benefits of flow, why does flow interest you? You know, we have things like devoted concentration, no distraction. That's one of the things I love about flow, is that I can just get into the zone and I can just stay there. And I've been practicing it long enough that I can enter into flow not in any environment, but in lots of environments. I can really engage myself back into the state when I want to. And that's very powerful, the concentration, the energy that I get from it, the productivity. But for me, I really enjoy the enthusiasm, the joy that I experience during it. But I think my favorite is probably the presence. It's that experience of the now that I really love when I'm engaging with it. Remember that although these are benefits, if we focus on these, we lose sight of flow, right? That the real sight of flow is doing something for the activity itself. I'll share with you a simple example. Over the last 3 months, I've really started to engage in more mindfulness practice. I made this year the year of presence. That's my focus. I just want to be present. I want to really focus on that. I could probably do that for the rest of my life, let's be real. But that's this year's focus. And so I started with these meditations that I would listen to while I did my chores. You know, doing the dishes, feeding the pets, going for a walk, showering, you know, hygiene, brushing my teeth, all these things. And at first, I remember I used to have to listen to a television show while I did these things because I found it boring. Then I was listening to meditations, and now I do it in complete silence. After just 3 months of really dedicatedly focusing on that, I can engage in this mindful practice of these rituals that now I look forward to brushing my teeth. I'm like, ooh, I get to spend time just meditating, right? Excuse me, I gotta go brush my teeth now. It's amazing the change in relationship that I've had to these innocuous chores, these tasks that feel mundane, but when we bring presence to it, we can engage in flow and we can get deeper with something than we normally would. Let's go to the one last slide. I'd like to end with a meditation, just a couple-minute meditation, give you a chance to experience flow. Later this afternoon, we're going to go deeper into how do you engage in flow? What strategies can you use to create it, and how do you maintain it? So if you're able to stick around, we'd love to see you for that. So I want to invite you now to gently close your eyes or soften your gaze. Allow yourself to arrive fully here in this room, in this moment. I invite you now to bring your attention to your breath. Without changing it, just notice it. The temperature of the air as you inhale, the temperature of the air as you exhale. Feel the rhythm of your breathing as an anchor to now. Let your thoughts float by like waves. Acknowledge them, and then let them pass. Notice the feeling of your body being supported by the chair and the ground beneath you. You don't need to do anything right now. Just be. Sense the space around you, the quiet presence of others, the stillness between sounds. Come home to the flow of your breath again. Inhale, ease. Exhale, release. If your mind wanders, just gently bring it back to your breath. Here, now, in the simplicity of being, nothing to fix, nothing to force. Just this moment, unfolding, breath by breath. And when you feel ready, I invite you to open your eyes and return. I want to thank you, everyone, for being engaged and really contributing. This was a lot of fun for me. I can't believe it went by just like that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Justin. I'm looking forward to the workshop later. And I do practice, I try to remember to practice mindfulness at home. It's very rich to be in that present moment and just, be alive, really. Yeah, with no distractions. So I'm looking forward to what more you've got to tell us. Thank you. And I'd like to thank Adam and Mike as well. Beautiful music today, as always. And Ibrahim, thank you for doing what you do over there for your recording.
At this time, let us take to heart our vision and mission statement, which is shown on the screen above. We have a global vision. Will you please speak it with me? Our vision is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
And we have a sacred mission. Let's say this together. We inspire and empower spiritual growth to awaken us and transform the world.
And we have a personal statement of being. Will you please say that with me? I am a dynamic center of the Christ light, mighty to unfold my good and radiate that good to all.
And a few announcements. The additional information about all of these announcements can be found in our newsletter and also on our website, Unity Spiritual Center Windsor.
Mahatma Gandhi said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." Therefore, come on out and find yourself by volunteering for the hospitality committee or welcoming committee. It will only take a half an hour of your time once a month. So please see Maria if you are interested in joining either committee. We would really appreciate your involvement.
The 2024 donation tax receipts are available for pickup today. See Maria.
Maria,
in the fellowship room after the service.
Many hats today as well. Thank you. And Justin will be facilitating his workshop today from 12:30 to 2:30 in the Chapel of Sanctuary, inviting the joy of flow into our lives. Please make sure you sign up and head on up to the fellowship room 12:30 to 2:30 if you wish to join.
I think it's in the chapel sanctuary. It says.
This one will be in the chapel right here.
Yeah.
12:30 to 2:30. Yeah. Sign up in the fellowship room first, have a moment upstairs, and then please make your way back here by about 12:25.
Okay. Next Sunday, April 6th, Reverend David Old will be having a divine conversation, and he'll be having it with Reverend Matthew Long about your soul's journey. So Reverend Long, if you don't know him, he's, let me see here. He's also going to do a workshop afterwards on the second floor classroom entitled Your Soul's Journey. And there's a sign-up sheet in the fellowship room on the second floor. But he's been a Unity minister for about 40 years. He's also married to a Unity minister. So I think, they certainly practice what they preach. So it'll be very interesting to attend that seminar for sure about your soul's journey.
On Sunday, April 27th this month, Lisa Gottlieb will be back by popular demand. Yeah. We'll be speaking and facilitating a workshop called Growing Peace, Listening and Speaking with Compassionate Communication. Please sign up on the sheet in the fellowship room on the second floor if you're interested in attending. Again, that is Sunday, April 27th.
And every Thursday in April from 6 to 7:30, right here in the sanctuary, Nelson Ng will be facilitating a string theory music group. So that sounds very, very interesting. Nelson, over there.
We are excited to share that our wonderful Devani is offering free yoga classes throughout April. Join her every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from the comfort of your own home. To receive the Zoom link, please email Devani. The email is on the screen right down there. You can speak to Devani as well in addition to the website. And don't miss this wonderful opportunity to embrace spring yoga with our wonderful Devani.
So tomorrow, Monday, March 31st, Tammy Malosh will be facilitating a divine feminine sacred circle group in the fellowship room on the second floor, and this group meets every other Monday.
Claudio and Jim will be facilitating a 7-week online Egyptian mystics course commencing on April 9th till May 21st. Go to our website for more details if you're interested.
We have so many things going on. Do we have a spreadsheet for this? Where's Maria?
Hi, at Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor, we never have only one announcement.
No,
we have
my
so
gosh.
many awesome things.
So, okay, you did that one. Then the Unity Social Committee, again, Maria, our ambassador of fun here, has organized a Friday fun night on April 11th. We're going to be meeting at the LA Town Grill in LaSalle at 5:30 just to hang out and eat and talk. They've got good food. I can attest to that. We're just going to be joyful together. And they also have vegan and gluten-free options. Again, the sign-up sheet. There must be a whole bunch of these up there by now. Okay. And you must sign up by April 7th so that we can reserve a table.
But wait, there's more. Fabulous. Reverend David Old will be facilitating a new members class on Sunday, April 13th from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. in the chapel sanctuary. Please continue to mention it to people if they're interested in coming out and experiencing a service and joining up as a member. This class would be a great opportunity if they would like to attend service first and then join for the class 12:30 to 2:30, April 13th here in the chapel sanctuary.
Yeah, and this one is very important. Our Earth Care Committee will be teaming up with the Essex Region Conservation Authority to plant over 2,000 trees on April the 27th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., it says. So 2 hours?
So
I
some
don't
of us
know,
will
like-
have to miss it because of service, but anyone that would want to go
I don't know.
and do that.
In 2 hours, 2,000 trees? Okay.
We get through
Okay.
we get through a million
Yeah.
announcements in 5 minutes. We can
And
definitely
sign
plant
up sheet.
a ton of trees in 2
Fellowship
hours.
room. There we go. So I will do prayer today. I don't see Lucy, so I'll be up in the prayer room directly after the service.
And I do know that the meetup is by Ganacho Trail for Sunday, April 27th.
Oh, thank you, Adam. So ways to give here at Unity. All of our classes, programs, and services are made possible by the generous donations of your time, talent, and treasure. We are deeply grateful for all our volunteers. Our heartfelt thanks for your continuous support and for everything that you do. We couldn't be here without you.
We invite you now all to stand up and let's open our hearts and minds in gratitude as we close by speaking out loud to ourselves or silently our love offering prayer, followed by this little light of mine, and closing with the prayer of protection.
So let's say this together. Divine love in me and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
I think you know this one, so sing along. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All in my heart, all in my heart, I'm gonna let it shine. All in my heart, I'm gonna let it shine. All in my heart, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All of you in this room, all in this room, you're gonna let it shine. All in this room, you're gonna let it shine. All of you in this room, you're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Shine. Thank you, everyone.
And the prayer for protection. The light of the love surrounds us.
We are light.
The love of the divine enfolds us.
We are love.
The peace of love fills us.
We are peace.
The power of love protects us.
We are power.
The presence of love watches over us.
We are presence.
And wherever we are, love is.
All is divine.
Please join us upstairs and stay for the seminar.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you so much.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Ibrahim.